Hello everyone and welcome back to this review series on the Bittersweet Candy Bowl. Today we are taking a look at Chapter 6, Flying Lessons. This is an origin comic for Chirpy and delves a little bit more into Yashy. We begin with Yashy trying to explain to Chirpy that she cannot fly. Of course Chirpy doesn't understand and Mike comes in from out of nowhere to chime in with another sly remark. Yashy tells Chirpy to go ahead and fly without her. Chirpy still believes that Yashy will be able to fly if she does. We get a nice image of Yashy starting to think back to when she first met Chirpy. We flash back to 2 years prior, where Lucy is relaxing on a tree. Mike shows up and attempts to start a game of tag. Of course Lucy is annoyed that her relaxing snooze was interrupted, plus we know from previous stories that she isn't a fan of being touched. Lucy pushes Mike out of the tree, who lands on his feet. And then I put like a little smiley face in the script because he landed on his feet like a cat, because they're cats. She hops down after him and Mike pushes her back. They get into a shoving match and wander away as Yashy climbs into a sandbox. Yashy gets afraid and looks around for Lucy but can't find her. She soon notices a mother bird in her nest and sees that a snake is sneaking up behind her. Yashy successfully warns her, but the mother bird flies off, leaving behind a single egg. Yashy comes to the rescue and slams the tree, knocking the egg out of it just in time so the snake can't get to it. Though I'm not sure how much force a tiny Yoshi-type creature like Yashy could put onto a tree. She catches the egg and promises to raise it. We cut to later as Lucy and Mike are once again arguing over the pet. Mike is upset that he doesn't have one, while even Yashy gets to keep it. Mike has doubts about Yashy's ability to take care of anything, but Lucy thinks it will be okay so long as it's just an egg. That soon changes, however, as the egg begins to hatch, and out comes a tiny bird. Both Yashy and Lucy are thrilled, but Mike is not impressed. From then on, Yashy took care of the bird, naming her Chirpy. Still, Yashy holds out hope that one day, Chirpy's real mother will come back. Spoiler alert, she doesn't. But that's okay, because Yashy is content with being her mother. Chirpy is still trying to persuade Yashy to fly, but she deflects by saying she is too good and doesn't want to make all the other birds jealous. We learn that Blur taught Chirpy how to fly. Blur was seen first in Chapter 2. Yashy gives Mike some praise for raising Blur right as well. Chirpy refers to Blur as her dad and Yashy calls for a timeout, shocked that Chirpy is calling Blur dad. Chirpy reveals that Mike and Lucy had put her up to it by telling her that Yashy is her mom and Blur is her dad. When Yashy gets confrontational, we see that it's a little bit of revenge from Mike and Lucy for how Yashy treats them in front of everyone else. Yashy once again pounces Mike and beats him up. Chirpy comments on Yashy's flight, though Lucy says,
"Thank you. That wasn't flying, that was falling with style."
Just kidding, she calls it a fancy jump, and Chirpy remarks to her father that Yashy should flap harder next time, which causes Yashy to stop her beatdown on Mike to yell at her. Flying Lessons is an interesting look at a much more tender side of Yashy. So far she has been all fight, so it's nice to see that she also has a softer side. Much like many of the characters in the series, she puts up a front in front of people to give off a certain persona. We also see that the relationship between Mike, Lucy, and Yashy has been roughly the same for at least the last 2 years. Even characters with such minor roles such as Chirpy get an opportunity to have their moment in the spotlight. And not only this, but it also allows the comic creators to explore new avenues when it comes to their characters, like taking this opportunity to show a warmer side to Yashy. Thank you guys for watching this review, and I'll see you all next time.